What if every Premier League team got their best ever Prem-Era player back? Would Thierry Henry fix Arsenal's striker problem? Could Alan Shearer outscore strike partner Alexander Isak? And would Wayne Rooney be able to salvage Amarim Ball at Manchester United? So today, I gift every club their Premier League GOAT back to see if they can survive and thrive in the modern day. Let's get it started, shall we? So you guys have met the first three legends coming back for this historical Premier League season. We've got Henry at Arsenal, Shearer at Newcastle, and of course Wayne Rooney at Manchester United. If you're wondering how I've done their stats, I've just cherry-picked them from whatever their best year was in either Championship Manager or Football Manager and brought it over to FM24. And looking at some of these stats, the Premier League Golden Boot race is going to be very spicy indeed. But with that being said, the Leo guarantee, every single Prem-Era GOAT will get their time to shine in the following season. So with all of that out the way, smash that thumbs up, enjoy. And fittingly, our season starts with a Manchester derby in the Community Shield. Rooney has fond memories of playing the Citizens, but this time he'd be going one-on-one with the City great one, Vincent Kompany. Spending over a decade at Man City, captain for most and winning everything under the sun, Pep will be delighted to have his big ball Belgian back. But it was Wazza who came out on top early, setting up United for what would be their only shot on target all game. Wayne Rooney plays it out to Dorgu. Oh, Dorgu's just absolutely banged one on his debut. So with Vincent Kompany locking down the City backline in response, it fell to the Norwegian cyborg to do his thing at the other end. Oh, and then Foden's come away with it, and he's absolutely launched one to Haaland, and Haaland has buried it. 1-1 it finished, meaning Rooney would be facing penalties in his first game back. Can you imagine if he misses? Can you imagine? Oh, and with everyone staying perfect, the pressure was on City's fifth man up. And it is young Rico Lewis. Questions will be asked why a kid is taking penalty number 5. And that is why you don't make the kids take penalty number 5. And there'd be no rest for the wicked for the Red Devils as they clashed with Spurs in the Prem's opening round fixture.
Lads, it's Tottenham.
Rooney banged a brace against my beloved Spurs. Henry grabbed a goal on his return to English football before shock of the round came at Wolves thanks to their returning Premier League great.
Moutinho strikes it! Oh,
João Moutinho was the marquee signing that kick-started Wolves' ascent to becoming Premier League mainstays. A true alpha in Wolves' history. And by the time the first international break came, our goated Prem season had seen even more early twists and turns. First up was a trip to Chelsea, where a certain midfielder grabbed his first of the season. Frank Lampard. Banging 211 goals to win 3 Prem titles, Super Frank did it all. Elsewhere, Shearer scored his first hat-trick of the season, but couldn't stop the Foxes preying on the Magpies thanks to Leicester's best smashing home their third. Jamie Vardy scored in a record 11 consecutive games in 2016 as Leicester shocked the world to win the Premier League. It's also an absolute house of a striker. Vardy was actually top of the charts, one ahead of Wayne Rooney at the moment. But the biggest story was Arsenal's unbeaten start. Could Thierry Henry really lead his side to another invincible run? Oh! With our next stop being the first North London derby at the end of October, this Spurs fan was praying for the annual Arteta bottle job to come early. So whilst I panicked over the derby, how was the rest of the league getting on? Well, Spurs weren't filling me with confidence, drawing at home to Palace after a corker from the greatest eagle in Premier League history, Wilfried Zaha. One of Palace's own and by far the biggest contributor to their status as a Premier League club. The Premier League record scorer of 68 league goals. Elsewhere, Kompany blasted home at Brighton. and Ipswich managed their first win of the season thanks to a hat-trick from none other than Marcus Stewart.
It's Stewart, it's 3-1 Ipswich!
In the Tractor Boys' 5 years total of Premier League football since 1992, Stewart's 19 league goals in the 2001 season secured Ipswich Town 5th place. It meant they sat 2 behind a desperately poor Chelsea team in the relegation zone, with Southampton the only winless side left. But now it's time for the North London derby. Henry loved playing against the Lily Whites in his day, but so did Spurs' Prem GOAT. One of their own,
Harry Kane!
Tottenham's all-time top scorer on 280 goals, whilst also forming the deadliest partnership in Premier League history, combining for 47 goals with best mate Son Heung-min. Unfortunately, Harry would go missing for this derby, as the game was decided in the second half when the inevitable happened. Oh, I haven't got a good feeling. No! No! Oh, no. That is bringing back some painful memories of my childhood, man. So 1-0 to the Arsenal. Could they really stay invincible? Next stop, January 1st.
Well, God almighty, would you look at that?
The invincible dream finally over thanks to a Núñez special. But that was their only drop points of the run, as Henry ran through the modern day like a French buzzsaw.
I can see what they're doing, what he's doing. I can see it, I feel it.
10 points clear at the top. It was elsewhere that had people's attention. Forest were up to 6 as one of the greatest left backs in Prem history helped Nuno get one over sorry Tottenham. Psycho Stuart Pearce made over 400 appearances for Forest, captain for most and the prototype for the modern fullback, as he scored 63 goals with a wand of a left foot. Forest were actually level with a United team in decline, thanks to shock defeats at home to Crystal Palace, whilst giving Southampton their first win of the season courtesy of a trademark strike from Matt Le Tissier. Le God, as he was affectionately known on the South Coast, Southampton's own Le Tissier is their second highest all-time top scorer in the Prem, all as a midfielder to boot. His Southampton side was still in a relegation fight, sitting bottom but just 2 places behind Lampard's Chelsea. To the shock of no one, Bowley pulled the trigger on Maresca and hired Chelsea's other greatest of all time, John Terry, as a caretaker manager.
Hello. Fancy seeing you here.
Up north, the first Merseyside derby of the season was settled late on, as one of the Premier League's most notorious strikers in history sealed a historic win. Duncan Ferguson, considered one of the most Everton players in their history, won the FA Cup in 1995, a beloved cult hero of British football. And speaking of strikers, Henry led a fascinating Golden Boot race, as some of the best to ever do it lit up the English top flight. January is always a time for change during the season. Southampton tried to save their season with the master of the 4-4-2.
This is my opinion on football.
Everton sacked Moyes once again in a questionable shake-up.
Times may be good.
And the Cherries' sudden drop into the relegation zone meant Iriola said goodbye to Bournemouth. Not a great comeback for their Prem all-timer, Steve Cook. During his 10 years with Bournemouth, Steve Cook climbed from League One all the way to the Prem. Captain for most of his time in the top flight, he is the cherry on top for Bournemouth's Premier League history. The next stop, though, was the end of February for the Carabao Cup Final, as Alan Shearer would lead Newcastle out at Wembley aiming to win his first trophy with the club. Standing in his way would be an Aston Villa side with their Prem-Era GOAT, God himself, Paul McGrath. The first man of colour to captain the Irish national team and the winner of Players' Player of the Season in the Premier League's inaugural year, and one of the best centre-backs in Premier League history. And it would end up being a final where both greats would actually struggle. As first of all, Big Joelinton showed Shearer how to finish for 1-0. Joelinton? Oh, Big Joelinton's put them 1-up before Sven Botman overpowered McGrath at a corner to put Newcastle 2-0 up. Villa then turned Newcastle's set-piece spam in their favour late on through their speedster Leon Bailey. He breaks. Is he going all the way? He is! Rashford gathers it. Bailey again. He cuts in. And he scores again. It is 2-2. Leon Bailey, where the fuck have you come from, lad?
Good evening.
So a poor game from each team's goat. How would they deal with the dreaded penalty shootout? Oh my God, I thought he missed off the post. The real great of this game turned out to be Nick Pope, as the giant in net not only won the game for the Geordies, but gave Shearer his lifelong dream come true. The Geordies are celebrating. Go on, Alan. A historic moment for Shearer in what was an excellent season for the Magpies, as they sat 4 clear in 4th on top of their League Cup win. A Stuart Pearce penalty had seen Arsenal lose a second game too, meaning the lead at the top was down to 7. The real race though was at the other end of the table, as 9 points separated 11th from bottom side Everton. Chelsea had climbed the table thanks to a few goals from Super Frank. Bournemouth's change of manager looks a wise decision, and West Ham were out the red thanks to a purple patch from their Premier League great, Paolo Di Canio.
Di Canio! I do not
Known for both his outrageous ability on the ball as well as his bad temper, who could ever forget his wonder volley versus Wimbledon in 2000? So with 10 games left of the season, it was all to play for. Even the Golden Boot race. What else does this Premier League season have in store? Rooney was up first, breaking Liverpool hearts with a 96th minute winner. Before Alan Shearer rocked up to Old Trafford to show Wayne who's really boss.
Pressure! What pressure?
Marcus Stewart was doing his best to keep Ipswich safe, and the same could be said for Brentford's English striker, as their GOAT scored 4 to down sorry Spurs. Ivan Toney. He scored 36 goals across 2.5 seasons, securing his status as the best B in Prem history. And speaking of Tottenham, Harry Kane came to play in the second North London derby of the season, scoring twice as Tottenham absolutely cooked Arsenal 5-0.
Oh, that's the day he's done it again, that Harry Kane, that f***ing dirty little...
And things would go from bad to worse for Arteta, as a trip to the Etihad would turn into a Belgian nightmare. They're passing it around for fun. Stones goes on a run, gives it back to Company. Oh, what a goal! At the other end of the table, we sadly had our first confirmed relegation, as Gattuso had just made things get even worse for the Toffees.
Sometimes maybe shit.
Fulham, though, had climbed out of the bottom 3, thanks to a late season push from their French great.
Yes!
Steve Malbranc, another of the Barclays men cult figures, helped them avoid relegation in 2003 whilst also scoring in their historic win at Old Trafford the following season. Perhaps the only place in the league with no drama was 10th place Brighton, and headed into the final 3 games of an unbeaten April, only conceding once to Newcastle. A lot of that is down to their captain and their Prem-Era GOAT, Lewis Dunk. One of Brighton's own, Dunk has made 430 appearances for the Seagulls, but becoming a mainstay in one of the modern day's most entertaining sides. But before we find out how this historic Premier League season concludes, it's time for our last final of the season, as Wayne Rooney goes head to head with Harry Kane in an all-timer FA Cup final. The battle between 2 of England's best actually turned into a one-sided beatdown, as Harry Kane was at his creative best from the get-go. I mean, that was a dodgy ball. Kane to Basuma, and Basuma puts it top corner. Kane's already got an injury, but he's setting up goals only like he can. Proper FIFA game. Come on, Kane. Penref, come on. Bang! Top corner. Rooney could only watch as the Swedish Zidane made it 3-0 in the second, as Kane followed Shearer from earlier in the season to finally win a trophy with his boyhood club, the mighty Spurs. Where's the trophy lift? Where's the trophy lift? Tottenham are going to win a trophy, or Tottenham have won a trophy, and they're not even going to show me Harry Kane lifting it. Brother! So now it's time to refocus on the Premier League for our final day of the season. But first, there is one Premier League era GOAT still to go, and I was saving him for a special moment. With the Europa League locked at 1-1, it fell to one man to settle the game.
Steven Gerrard may well just have won it for Liverpool.
Steven Gerrard, the heart and soul of Liverpool Football Club for 17 seasons. A one-club man who became a European champion, now twice, one of the best of his generation. So another European trophy for the Liverpool icon, but how were the Reds looking in the Premier League on its final day? And I'm sorry to say, Arsenal fans, well, I'm not too sorry considering I'm a Tottenham fan. In fact, I'm not sorry at all. But you guys are now second. You are a point behind Manchester City.
He flopped it. He bottled it.
As we can see, Liverpool are only 2 points behind Man City, which means the final day, it is all to play for. Every single team needs a win. Thinking the title would be going to City, we travelled to Craven Cottage for the final day of the season. And boy, little did we know how dramatic this final day would really be. But will it even matter? Because I think De Bruyne is about to put City 1-0 up. And he does with a picture book. Free kick, postage stamp, people. City well and truly in control. But the first twist wasn't too far away.
It's Gerrard. That's a great strike!
Liverpool must be winning because they have jumped ahead of Arsenal, who must either still be drawing or losing. But none of that matters at the moment because City are in control. Control that would quickly shift to the West London side in the second half. Fulham are actually controlling this game quite well. Reece Nelson has just equalised for Fulham. City were still ahead on goal difference, with Liverpool needing a Fulham winner to take first spot. Arsenal, meanwhile, are 0-0 at home to Newcastle. If Arsenal can get a winner, they will win the Premier League with 9 minutes left. Rico Lewis gathers. Rico Lewis drives forward. Bernardo Silva gives it away. Kearney to Malbranque to Ings. Timothy Castagne. Oh, my emotions, and I'm not even playing. Danny Ings. Emile Smith-Rowe. That was offside. That looked miles offside.
Nope.
Oh my God, it's a goal. It's a goal. Liverpool have won the league. So a 2-0 win at Brentford won Liverpool the league in the end. Arsenal drew 0-0 at home to Newcastle. You just know Arteta is fuming. They hate playing the Geordies, absolutely hate it. But the worst loser of the day, by far, Mr. Pep Guardiola. He has been sacked by Man City after one of the biggest bottle jobs in Prem final day history. Monumental, dramatic, everything you want from a Premier League season. But on the flip side, the blue half of Merseyside, Everton, have been relegated. Duncan Ferguson will be in the Championship next season, along with Matt Letizier's Southampton and Moutinho's Wolves. Not a great comeback to the Prem for them, but what a season overall. The only thing left to check is that top scorers race. And to the surprise of nobody, the Premier League's all-time top goal scorer, Alan Shearer, has done it again. He's finished top of the charts, 28 league goals, won it quite comfortably in the end. Thierry Henry, his form dipped as Arsenal's dipped, coming second on 25. Haaland only got 20, but he did only play 25 games. There must have been an injury there. Marcus Stewart in 9th with 17, not quite the goal tally he got when Ipswich finished 5th way back when. Tony 10th, and then Wayne Rooney, disappointing, only got 14 goals in the end. But bloody hell, there you have it. That is your Premier League season where every club gets their Prem-Era goat back. Liverpool, your biggest winners. Everton, your biggest losers. But I hope you enjoyed it. I've left up on screen my Premier League salary cap experiment. Go check that out if you've got the time. If not, have a good day. Smash that thumbs up, and I shall catch you in the next one. Peace.